Okay, confession time. I hate Tom Brady, the football player. But I have to admit, I sort of like Tom Brady, the golfer. This one's for you, Tom. Welcome back to Oddmansports. I'm your host, Brandon Perna. I'm also the host of That's Good Sports, a show sponsored by a dick manscaper and a coffee company. And I'm just hearing about former Alabama superfan Dick Coffee now? Ooh, I need to do more research. On this week's show, I'll break down winners and losers of the NBA playoffs. I'll share how Jimmy Butler intimidates NBA writers. And at the end of the show, I'll explain how Giselle became the biggest sports joke of the week. Dinks, dun 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 dun, and dunks! Well, the NBA playoffs are in full swing. And while ratings have been down significantly, one demographic has been thrilled with this year's playoffs. People who love to watch arguing. Oh, come on, ref! Come on! Come on! How is that a foul? How is that a foul, you son of a g-? Now, the most impressive play of this year's playoffs was definitely Kevin Durant's turnaround jumper to send Game 7 against the Bucks into overtime. But the most shocking play, with under a minute remaining of the Sixers-Bucks game, the refs whistled Matisse Thybulle for a foul on Kevin Huerter, and Thybulle didn't argue the call. I repeat, he did not argue the call. And I know nobody likes the refs, but can you imagine what it must be like getting yelled at for 2.5 straight hours by millionaire giants? The only job I can think of worse than NBA referee? Matt Ryan's stylist. Oh, Matt Ryan, all he want to wear is backpacks. Monday backpack, Tuesday backpack, Wednesday backpack for Matty Ice. I cannot take it anymore. And speaking of Kevin Huerter, the melanin-challenged Hawks guard set his playoff points record in Game 7 with 27. And during his post-game interview, TNT set the record for most viewers trying to adjust their televisions. Honey, the TV's screwed up. There's a see-through man on the screen. I think his hue is off. I can see all his veins. Now, during the press conference after the Hawks series win, Atlanta's John Collins wore a t-shirt with the image of his Game 6 dunk over Joel Embiid. And moments later, Embiid also wore a custom t-shirt with an image of him dunking on Ben Simmons. So it's set. The Eastern Conference Finals are a showdown between the Bucks and the Hawks. And I'll tell you the guy most relieved? Milwaukee head coach Mike Budenholzer. Because if Kevin Durant's feet were one size smaller, the next time anyone said Coach Bud would have been when they were ordering a beer from him. Coach Bud. After the Game 7 loss, Durant was philosophical about his almost game winner.
I was just seeing a little screenshot how close I was to ending their season off that shot, but it wasn't in God's plan. Hey, we move on.
And if anyone understands that things don't always go according to plan, it's KD, who once brought a backup girl on a date with a porn star. NBA superstars, they're just like us. The Dallas Mavericks announced they've hired Dirk Nowitzki to help assist in the search for the team's next head coach. And if this goes anything like the last search Dirk was involved in, I'll tell you who will be the next Mavs coach. A cat stuck in a tree. And finally, it's official. Lala and Carmelo Anthony have called it quits, ending an 11-year marriage. The reason, according to the court filing, irreconcilable differences. Which is ironic because now that they're broken up, they finally have something in common. No commitment to any D. Here we are, Money Talks. The playoffs were rough for multiple NBA All-Stars, including Julius Randle of the Knicks, Anthony Davis of the Lakers, and Ben Simmons of the Sixers. But the player who had the worst playoffs? Jason Tatum. And not because of anything that happened on the court. After failing to make one of 3 All-NBA teams, the Celtics forward missed out on a $32 million incentive, which means Tatum's rookie extension will be worth $163 instead of $195 million. And I know what you're thinking, $32 million is nothing to these guys. But to give you some perspective, $32 million is over 4 times what Google says my net worth is. The $32 million Tatum won't get is how much the Mueller report cost, and also exactly how much Bill O'Reilly settled for. Do you know how many loofahs you can buy for $32 million? I'm guessing a lot. It turns out these all-NBA teams, which are totally meaningless outside of their enormous financial implications, are weirdly voted on by 100 random sports writers and broadcasters, both national and local. And one of the forwards who finished ahead of Tatum for third-team All-NBA was Jimmy Butler, despite averaging fewer points and rebounds while playing in 12 fewer games. Oh, and this is relevant. According to Anthony Chang of the Miami Herald, Jimmy Butler is likely to seek a 4-year maximum salary contract extension with the Heat this offseason. So let's take a look at who voted for Jimmy. Okay, here's a first team vote for someone who chose Butler over Kawhi Leonard. That seems extreme. Also wrong. Who might have cast that vote? Oh, Anthony Chang of the Miami Herald, who according to his Twitter bio is a Miami Heat reporter. Wow, a reporter rewarding a player he relies on as a source? That seems shady, but I'm sure Chang has a perfectly good rationale.
All NBA, all defensive teams came out the last few days, and Anthony, you voted for Jimmy Butler for first team All NBA. He got third team, obviously, so you helped Jimmy get a nice little paycheck. Do you want to make the case?
Just watching him day in and day out, I think we can appreciate how good of a player he is.
Look, just because you personally see someone perform every day doesn't make them better. Which is why I didn't make too big of a deal about this mug I got. Now, personally, I don't blame Chang for kissing up to arguably the NBA's most volatile player. Remember, Butler is a guy who 1 minute is channeling Vanessa Carlton on a plane.
And I need you, and I miss you, and now I wonder.
And the next minute, he's kicking the shit out of Karl Anthony Towns at a T-Wolves practice. Now, that sounds exactly like the kind of guy that you, as a reporter, do everything in your power to get to like you, including voting him first team All-NBA over Kawhi Leonard, even if he totally doesn't deserve it. Doesn't make it right, which is why I am launching a GoFundMe for Jason Tatum with the goal of raising the $32 million he lost out on. And as a starter, I'm putting in my very own, totally real $7 million of net worth. Odd man out. On Monday, New York football fans woke up to this terrifying announcement on Giants Twitter.
Hey Giants fans, Sean O'Hara here with a very special guest and a very exciting and special announcement. Eli Manning, you're coming back to the Giants. This is fantastic.
As you may remember, Eli's original exit from the G-Men wasn't exactly greeted with tears from the fans.
I am so sick and tired of Eli Manning. He sucks. He needs to be benched. I am burning my Eli Manning jersey because he sucks. There you go. Burn, Eli. Burn.
Now it turns out Eli isn't returning to replace Daniel Jones under center, but to work on business operations and fan engagement initiatives. You know, bullshit. And I personally commend him for it. while Wayne Gretzky, Shaq, and possibly his brother, Peyton, who is rumored to be taking the lead analyst job for Amazon's NFL coverage, are actually working for a living, here's what I assume Eli will be doing. Opening his closet full of blue button-down shirts before strolling into the office around 11, where he'll shake a few hands and autograph some fake game-used memorabilia. He may have been crying when he got benched, but Eli is getting the last laugh, which is fitting because it turns out the younger Manning may actually be the funnier one.
What is Tom Brady's favorite line? I can't beat the Giants!
You can't throw it and catch it.
You can't throw it and catch it.
You can't throw it and catch it. That's impossible.
No, you can't.
And this slight Brady jab isn't especially good, but the sharp poke at his wife Giselle for saying this after their Super Bowl loss?
My husband cannot throw the ball and catch the ball at the same time.
That's the good stuff. Eli Manning's nickname since he's been in high school is Easy, which is exactly how he's taking things post-career. Posting food pics on Twitter like a true influencer and bragging about getting something even more rare than a Super Bowl ring. Fellatio while married. Good for you, Eli. All right, that's it for this week. I would say see you next week, but like Kyle Shanahan, I can't guarantee that anyone will be alive next week. Sorry, I can't.